Hey, hey, hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back. I am Lori A. Andrus, and welcome to this episode of the Meet Me in Sacred Space podcast. Hey, today we are diving into episode 2 in our series on creativity. And goodness, I feel like there are so many directions I would love to sink into in today's call. But the first thing that I really want to talk about is the energy of creativity and just that word in itself, on its own, because very often I find that when I sink into conversations about creativity with friends and family and clients and loved ones, there's this kind of a thread that seems to run through. And the thread of so many people feeling like they're not creative individuals. And I hear this a lot. I hear this response from a lot of different individuals. They feel like they're not creative, like they don't have the creative flow or the creative rhythm or the creative ideas. And I want to just invite you, if you're one of those people who immediately gets that response when you hear the word creativity, or you think that this conversation about creativity isn't for you, I want to invite you to reconsider how you hold that word, how you regard that word. And what I'm going to share with you probably isn't new. You've probably heard this before, and it's definitely something I've said before, and I will absolutely say again. But being human makes you creative. You just simply being alive, living life, being a human, moving through your day to day makes you a creative being. How you utilize your creativity looks vastly different from one person to the next. It can be as simple as using your creativity to organize your closet, to using your creativity to plan a luscious dinner or meal with family and friends, creating a beautiful garden, creating a spreadsheet, creating with numbers. My goodness, there are so many ways that we create. But one of the biggest ways that everyone creates is the participation in the creation of our own lives, letting our energy flow forward and flow into the creation of how we want to experience life. So think about some of those things that you long to manifest. There's that word, manifest, that is so overused sometimes, but it really is an important word in our current time, especially when we talk about creativity. We're looking at how we want to experience our lives differently. And creativity doesn't come from the energy of control, and nor does manifestation. And I think that's one of the biggest confusions around the word manifestation that really has a lot of people shying away from it. This idea that we can control an outcome, that we can control the way things unfold in our world and in our lives. The reality is we cannot control outcomes. Ups, downs, that is a natural part of being human. Things working in beautiful flow, that is a natural part of being human, as is the stumbling blocks that we have along the way. Those stumbling blocks are what really, quite honestly, allow us to grow in unexpected ways. This is a core part of creativity and creation and manifestation. Now, when we look at creation of our lives, we are working within ourselves to find inner clarity, come into alignment, to feel deeply rooted and connected with the greater rhythms of the planet, the greater rhythms of the universe. And that means having a healthy and whole and dynamic relationship with self, with spirit, and whatever word you use, whatever language you have around divine and God and spirit, or with and also with all of life. the earth, this sacred planet that we live on, and the other individuals in our world, our family, our friends, our community, and letting that ripple out. As we find a healthy relationship in all those places, we can really come into a place of honoring our creative ability and ability to create our lives and create our lives in ways that call us forward, that bring deeper meaning to our experiences, that help us to transform and grow and expand and really fall in love with life. So the place I really wanted to sink into for our conversation today, it began with the phrase, the spark of inspiration. But as I sank in and started doing some reflecting and really taking notes, the thing that really came forward was a question around giving ourselves permission to imagine, to dream, to vision, to explore different ideas. And that's actually where we're going to really dive in today, where we're going to sink in. But before we go there, I want to just pause and just share a little bit of information about what has been unfolding here. So I think when I shared the last episode, I was sharing that Chris and I were working on the final edits. Oh my goodness, we are done. We are done with the final edits on the Oracle deck, and I am just about to hand them off to be put into a format, to be formatted for a book, which sounds so exciting and actually is very exciting. So I'll be handing that off. And over the weekend, I had my annual holiday open house, and this is something I've been doing for years. Obviously, I took a couple of years off during COVID and some of the other things that were unfolding in the world, but for the last couple of years, it's just been really, really just a sweet, sweet experience. And this year, the open house was beyond my wildest dreams. It was fun, it was soulful, it was nourishing, and it was healing. So I want to share a little bit about it. So my dear friend, Bobby Joe, who does sound healing, she plays the singing bowls and the pan drum and all tongue drum and lots of different things. She came and brought some instruments. And then another dear friend of mine, Amanda, she is an amazing fire tender, and she tended a campfire outside throughout the entire day. And she had this beautiful gathering of materials to create offerings to the fire. And then I had all my jewelry out and ready to be shared and ready for sale and for people to connect with. And then the last piece that came together with all of this is that because the guidebook was completed and written and edited, I went and had some rough copies printed off at Office Max and had some copies of the deck, some loose copies of that printed as well. And I put those out, and I had an opportunity to share them this weekend. And wow. Just big. Oh, my heart is so happy. Yeah, I'm like, what are the words here? I don't exactly know what the words even are, but my heart was so happy and overjoyed as people paused and pulled a card and read the message and listened and felt into how it resonated. And I could see the ways that the guidebook and the messages from the crystals were just speaking and rippling. And it really left me with this deep excitement for the Oracle to be shared and to really come into its formal print and formal format and really be ready to be brought out into the world. So I've told you this with the last episode, but they'll be coming in the new year. And if you want to get on my list for that, head on over to my website and you'll find a spot to sign up to get on that list. I'd really, really love, I'd love for you to get those in your hands if that is something that calls to you. And one more bit. If you are listening to this episode and you're curious about my jewelry, Journey Jewels, pop on over to my website. The online shop will be open Wednesday to Sunday, Wednesday, December 6th through Sunday, December 10th. Head on over to journeyjewels.com. I have so many special, truly special and amazing pieces ready for you. And I look forward to seeing which ones make their way into your home and to be worn by you. So, all right, so let's circle back to conversation around the spark of inspiration and giving ourselves permission to dream. One of the other things that unfolded for me over this weekend is that I participated in a retreat with one of my mentors, Michelle Grace Lesserard. And one of the things that she dove into in the conversation of the retreat and the theme was around this piece of giving ourselves permission to dream, to let ourselves imagine. And when that was brought into the conversation, I felt something within myself. I felt a really deep, a deep sadness and awareness that for the past couple months, my dream part of myself, the part of myself that loves to imagine and dream and vision and think of new ideas, has been kind of dormant, has been almost silent. And I realized that, part of what has been going on with my health and some of the ways that I've needed to nurture my body, one of the things that's happened is that I've really needed to draw my energy in very close and to really, really draw it in a way where I am conserving energy. And I realized that with that the energy of dreaming and imagining, it requires a lot of energy. It requires an expansiveness. It requires a deep openness. And as I was having this awareness, I was thinking about how there are really times in our journey where we are in a big, open and expansive energy, and dreaming and imagining is very central in what our energy is needing and doing. And then there are also times where it's important that we draw our energy in and we conserve our energy and we really channel and focus it into a specific path. And for me, that drawing my energy in and focusing it forward was really on focusing my energy on completing the guidebook, finishing the writing, going through the edits, collaborating with my husband on really ironing out all of the pieces within that, and letting that really be where my energy went, along with some of the other things that are, ongoing in my world, the running the sanctuary and keeping running the Living the Art of Ceremony program. So my energy has really been focused in those areas. But I realized that as I'm nearing the end of this project, there is an awareness that there's a next step, and that next step is a bit of an expansion and allowing my energy to be spread out, to be, I don't want to say scattered because that's not it, but to be expanded, to expand out into the world. And a part of this conserving energy, drawing within, being in an internal place, while it's also served my body in its healing process, it is also a part of me really, really building up my inner stores and really letting my inner well be fully nourished and full and overflowing so that it is ready. My inner stores are ready. So I just, it was such a fascinating thing, and I think the piece that I really want to highlight for you today as you're listening, this idea of giving yourself permission to dream. If you're in a cycle right now where perhaps you too have been called into the place of conserving your energy, slowing down, really focusing your energy into a particular project or particular, thing that's been flowing and working in your world. I want to just really applaud you and just really honor you and honor that phase of your journey. And if, like myself, you feel a little awareness and sadness around, oh, I really love that dreamy space and the giving myself permission to dream, know that that'll cycle through again. And for those of you who are in that place of dreaming, let yourself open up even further. What is beyond what you have already decided is practical and logical and realistic and attainable and like manageable in your world? Let your dream go beyond that. I think this phrase, and I think when this was said within the retreat, it was really an invitation for dreaming beyond where we're at. And I think that to me is such an important piece. And I want to convey that with this as well, because I think there's a cycle, right? When we look at creativity, when we look at how things are brought to life, how I birthed a card deck, right? How a person births a book or births a song or a poem or a garden, or how they bring things to life. There's a cycle. There's an imagining and a dreaming. And then there's also times where we're in motion and movement and really pushing things forward in another way to bring it into form. And each phase has its own important place. And, next week, I think we'll talk more about that. The spark of inspiration that really kicked off the deck. But today, as we're, really winding down in the fall season, moving towards the winter solstice, we're really in a place of letting ourselves slow down, be a little reflective. And we're also in a season where it's important that we give ourselves permission to dream. So if you are in a place where you are ready to dream and imagine something beyond beyond your wildest dreams, beyond what you have been comfortable with, to let yourself just simply open up and expand into new possibilities. I invite you to do that. Savor the energy of this season, savor the energy that is unfolding at this time of the year, and let yourself get wildly creative in whatever way creativity looks for you. All right, my sacred friend, I thank you for joining me today, and I'll connect with you again next week for another episode. And I think we'll probably dive into the spark of inspiration, and if not, we'll see where spirit guides us. Until then, have a beautiful, beautiful day and shine brightly. Bye for now.